Ah, good. Yes, I am low tech. I am low tech. And I'm in the shot for a change. Now, I promised myself to read Dauber by John Masefield. I'm going to do it. By hell or high water, I'm going to do it. He's going to watch. And I can't bother him because he's stone deaf. But he's got a heart of gold. Black coffee. Now, I'm only reading this one poem. It's very long. And that's Mother Carey. No, I don't like that one. This is John Masefield again. I should be more prepared, shouldn't I? There we go. Yes, yes. I don't edit anything. There we go. Okay. Mother Carey. I read that. And what's this? This is Fragments. I did not read that. And Laugh and Be Merry. I read that. And Sonnet. I read that. Dauber. Yes. Yes. Now is it in order? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes. Lots of it. Okay, what's this here? This is Fragments. I can't read that. I already saw that. Okay. Dauber. Dauber by John Masefield. Now this goes on. See Fever. I read that one. And See Change. I read that one. What else do we have here? I want to make a point that while this is a kind of a tribute to the great professor that I had in the past, he did not throw assignments across the room. He didn't have a 20-year-old cat with him. And he didn't have Bill. But he was scatterbrained, and I wish I could remember his name. And it's been about 20 years since I saw him. Everybody gets old. So, Dauber by John Masefield. 1. For bells were struck, the watch was called on deck. I want to make a point that usually I read these through twice. This is going to take forever. So bear with me. I'm reading it once. I'm going to try to be as my be as I can. And we should all be as our be as we can. I'm not going to read it fast. I'm not going to read it goofy. I'm just going to read it. Sip of black coffee first. It's better. Now, Dauber by John Masefield. I'll be as serious as I can. 1. For bells were struck, the watch was called on deck. All work aboard was over for the hour, and some men sang and others played at check, or mended clothes or watched the sunset glower. The bursting west was like an opening flower. And one man watched it till the light was dim, but no one went across to talk to him. He was the painter in that swift ship's crew, lamp band and painter tall, and slight-built man, young for his years and not yet 22, sickly and not yet brown with the sea's tan, bullied and damned at since the voyage began. Being neither man nor seaman by his tally, he bunked with the idlers just abaft the galley. His work began at 5. He worked all day. keeping no watch and having all night in. His work was what the mate might call her to say. He mixed red lead in many a bully tin. His dungarees were smeared with paraffin. He'd go down himself, his roundhouse mates advised him, and all hands called him Dauber and despised him. See, the apprentice stood beside the spare, stripped to the waist, a basin at his side, slushing his hands to get away with the tar. And then he washed himself and rinsed and dried, toweling his face, hair, tousled, eager-eyed. He crossed the spare to Dauber, and there stood, watching the gold of heaven turn to blood. They stood there by the rail while the swift ship tore on of the tropics, straining her sheets, whitening her trackway to a milky stripe, dim with green bubbles and twisted water meets her clacking tackle tugged at pins and cleats. Her great sails bellied stiff, her great masts leaned. They watched how the seas struck and burst and greened. Sea talked with Dauber, standing by the side. Why did you come to sea, painter? He said. I want to be painter, he replied, and know the sea and ships from A to Z, and paint green ships at sea before I be dead. Ships under sky sails running down the trade ships and the sea. There's nothing finer made. But there is so much to learn with sails and ropes, and how the sails look, full of being furled, and how the lights changed into troughs and slopes, and the sea's colors come up and down the world, and how a storm looks when the sprays are hurled high as the yard. They say, I want to see. There's none ashore can teach such things to me. And then the men and rigging, and the way ships move, running or beating, and the poise at the roll's end, the checking in the sway. I want to paint them perfect, short of the noise, and then the life, and the half decks full of boys, the follicles with the men there dripping wet, and of the subjects that I want to get. It's not been done, the sea, not yet been done, from the inside by one who really knows. I'd give up all if I could be the one. But art comes dear the way the money goes. So I have come to see, and I suppose 3 years will teach me all I want to learn, and make enough to keep me till I earn. Even as he spoke, his busy pencil moved, drawing the leap of water off the side where the great clipper trampled, iron hooved, making the blue hills of the sea divide, shearing a glittering scatter in her stride, and leaping on full tilt with all sails drawing, proud as a war horse, snuffing battle, pawing. I cannot get it yet, not yet, he said. That leap and light and sudden change to green, and all the glittering from the sunset's red, and the milky colors where the bursts have been, and then the clipper striding like a queen. Over it all beauty to the crown. I see it all. I cannot put it down. It's hard not to be able. There, look there. I cannot get the movement nor the light. Sometimes it almost makes a man despair to try and never get it right. Oh, if I could. Oh, if only I might. I wouldn't mind what hells I'd have to pass, nor if the whole world called me fool and ass. Down sank the crimson sun into the sea. The wind could chill at once. The west grew dun. Out sidelights called the mate. Hi, where is he? The boatswain called. Our sidelights. Damn you, run! He's always late or lazing, murmured one. The dauber with his sketching, soon the tints of red and green passed in dark water glints. Darker it grew, still darker, and the stars burned golden, and the fiery fishes came. The wire note loudened from the straining spares. The sheet blocks clacked together, always the same. The rushing fishes streaked the seas with flame, racing the one speed noble as their own. What unknown joy was in those fish unknown? Just by the roundhouse door, as it grew dark, the boatswain caught the dauber with, "Now you, till now I've spared you. Damn you, now you hark. I've just had hell from what you didn't do. I'll have you broke and sent among the crew. And if you get more trouble by a particle, don't you forget, you daubing a useless article. Excuse me. I'm going to take a break for a moment. I'm only on the midway through the third page, but he wants food, and you can watch me feed him. Oops. As I trip across the room. I tell you, you read that poetry, you end up talking like it. And the good thing about it is, it becomes very inspirational. Where's his food? I hear you. Dinner. Why am I talking to him? He can't hear me. Oh, he's a deaf boy. He's deaf. It's probably the only reason he can tolerate me, because he can't hear my voice. Thanks for listening. Where was I? Dauber, painter, sea, ocean, scary, green, yellow, red. Look, can't do it. Oh no, where is this lazy guy? That's, I think, where we are with Dauber here, and there's only 26 more pages to go. I promised myself to read all of it. I'm going to do it. Okay. Where was I? Just by the roundhouse door, as it grew dark, the boatswain caught the Dauber with, "Now you, till now I've spared you, damn you, now you hark." I've read this part. "I've just had hell, what you didn't do. I'll have you broken sent among the crew if you get me more trouble by a particle. Don't you forget, you daubing, useless particle. You thing, you twice laid thing from Port Mahone." Then came the cooks. "Is that the dauber there? Why don't you leave them stinking paints alone? They stink the house out, poisoning all the air. Just take them out. Where to? I don't care where. I won't have stinking paint here. From their plates. That's right, we paint. Wet paint breeds fever," growled his mates. Probably right. Some old paint actually had, I believe, arsenic in it. And if it was burned, like if, like, say there was like wallpaper that was like arsenic and it was being burned, it could actually be poison there. I saw a TV show based on that, and it was, these people were having these hallucinations, and I thought they saw these ghosts, but it was actually just like the painting, and they get hallucinating, and you just see these ghosts coming across the room. But it wasn't. It was the burning wallpaper in the fireplace. I can't remember the name of the show. 13 Demon Street. Yeah, that's it. Recommended. Lon Chaney Jr. Always watch the old stuff. I wasn't alive back then. I'm not that old. In spirit, I'm very, very, very old. I'm very old. I have a soul that's so old that I probably laid the first, whatever they used to make the pyramids. I probably laid the first one. That's how old my soul is. And probably older than that. I was probably like one of those amoeba thingies. Weren't we all amoebas? He wasn't. Well, he's been eaten. He's alright. He's stuck still. Okay. Back into the spirit of Dauber. Let's get into the mind of ships and ships and John Masefield. And John Masefield's the sea guy. I was at the ocean. No, I'm not at the ocean because I couldn't sit out there reading all this with my batteries. We are all slaves to technology. I can't believe it. I really can't. I mean, there used to be a time when people, would just sit there and watch a fireworks show. Now they got the phone out. I'm a boomer. What can I tell you? No, I'm an old soul. I'm an old soul with sense. Because if I was 20, I would think that was stupid. And that would be a 20-year-old boomer. So it goes. On down the rabbit hole it goes. Okay, I gotta get back into this. Okay. You think you twice late thing from Port Mahone. Then came the cooks. Is that the Dauber there? I read this already. Why don't you leave that stinking paints alone? They stink the house out, poisoning all the air. Just take them out. You are too. I don't care where. I won't have stinking paints here. From their plates. That's right. We paint breeds forever. Growled his mates. Wet paint, wet paint breeds. Fever, not forever. He took his still wet drawings from the berth and climbed the ladder to the deck house top. Beneath the noisy half deck rang with mirth, for two ship's boys were putting on the strope, one clambering up to let the skylight drop, saw him bend down beneath a boat and lay his drawings there, till all were hid away, and stand there silent, leaning on the boat, watching the constellations rise and bum, until the beauty took him by the throat, so stately is their glittering overturn. Armies of marching eyes, armies that yearn, with banners rising and falling and passing by over the empty silence of the sky. The Dauber sighed there, looking at the sails, wind-steadied arches leaning on the night. The high trucks traced on heaven and left no trails. The moonlight made the topsails almost white. The passing sidelights seemed to drip green light, and on the cliff rushed with fire-bright bows. He sighed, I'll never dote, and left the house. Now, said the reefer, up. Come, Sam, come see. Dauber's been hiding something up thy slide. S-L-I-D-E. No, it's slid. Up they slid, not up thy slid. I get it right. Dauber's been hiding something up they slid, treading on naked toes stealthily, to grope for treasure. At the long boat skid. Drawings, said Sam. Is this what Dauber hid? Lord, I expected pudding, not this rot. Still come, we'll have some fun with what we've got. They smeared the paint with turpentine until they could remove them with mess clouts every trace of quick perception caught by patient skill, not patient. The English language has so many dual meanings. Patient skill. And lines that had brought blood into his face. They whipped the pigments off and did erase, with knives all sticking clouts when they had done. Under the boat they laid them every one. All he had drawn since first he came to sea is 6 weeks' leisure fruits. They laid them there. They chuckled them to think how mad he'd be, finding his paintings vanished into air. 8 bells were struck, and feet were everywhere. Went shuffling aft to muster in the dark. The mate's pipe loud above a dim red spark. I'm going to make it a point. Did not read this before. That's why I kind of talk a little hauntingly when I speak this. I never read this before in my life. I'm not sure I wanted to, but I'm on a mission. Names in the darkness passed, and voices cried. The red spark glowed and died. The faces seemed as things remembered when a brain has died. To all but high intenseness deeply dreamed. Like hissing spears the fishes' fire streamed, and on the cliff rushed with tossing mast. A bath of flame broke round her as she passed. The watch was set, the night came, and the men hid from the moon in shadowed nooks to sleep. Bunched like the dead, still like the dead, as when plague in the city leaves none even to weep. The ship's track brightened to a mile broad sweep. The mate there felt her pulse, and eyed the spars. Southwest by south, she staggered under the stars. I'll read that again because I kind of paused. Watch was set, the night came, and the men hid from the moon in shadowed nooks to sleep. Bunched like the dead, still like the dead, as when plagued in a city leaves none even to weep. The ship's track brightened to a mile broad sweep. The mate there felt her pulse and eyes the spares. Southwest by south, she staggered under the stairs. I'm good. Down in his bunk, the Dauber lay awake, thinking of his unfitness for the sea. Each failure, each derision, each mistake. Therein the life not made for such as he. A morning grim with trouble sure to be. A noon of pain from failure, and a night bitter with men's contemning and despite. This is the first beginning, the green leaf, still in the trades before bad weather fell. What harvest would he reap of hate and grief, when the loud horn made every life a hell, when the sick ship lay over, clanging her bell, and no time came for painting or for drawing, but all hands fought, and icy death came clawing. The cat's over there. I didn't throw anything at him. I want to make a point. He chooses to eat up here. He's got food and water on the floor. The food and water is the blue buffalo food. He really likes the blue buffalo food. He really likes the water. He also likes to eat in the window. And it's good exercise for him. It keeps his legs kind of limber because he's arthritic. We should all be as old as that cat. He's 80 in human years. Indoor cat human years. Indoor cat human years is 4 for every 1. Outdoor cat human years is 7 for every 1. So he's 4 for every 1 because he's been indoors for a long time. I've had that cat for 20 years. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Okay, just say that to get all the letters out of my head. Hell, he expected hell. His eyes grew blind. The snoring from his messmates droned and snuffled, and then a gush of pity calmed his mind. The cruel torment of his thought was muffled. Without on deck, an old seaman shuffled, humming his song, and through the open door a moonbeam moved and thrust along the floor. The green bunk curtains moved, the brass rings clicked. The cook cursed in his sleep, turning and turning, and the moonbeams moving. Finger touched and picked. Oh, I'm going to have to take a break again. All the stars and all the sky were burning. This is the art I've come for. Excuse me. Oh, you want to go out? Yeah, you can go out. You can go. And out he goes. It's true what they say. Cats don't have owners. Cats are the owners. Anyway, he went out. He's perfectly out of the room now. Where was I? Okay. Now I'm going to read this straight through as best as I can, with Bill helping me. Maybe not. He leaned upon his arm and watched the light sliding and fading to the steady roll. This he would some day paint, the ship at night, and sleeping seamen tired to the soul. The space below the bunks as black as coal. Gleams upon chest, upon the unlit lamp, the ranging door hook, and the locker clamp. This he would paint, and that, and all these scenes, and proud ships carrying on, and men their minds, and blues of rollers toppling into greens, and shattering into white that burst in blinds, and scattering ships running erect like hinds, and men in oilskins beating down a sail, high on the yellow yard, and snow and hail. With faces ducked down from the slanting drive of half thawed hail mixed with half frozen spray, the roaring canvas like a thing alive, shaking the mast, knocking their hands away. The foot ropes jerking to the tug and sway, the savage eyes salt reddened at the rims, and icicles on the southwestern brims. And sunnier scenes would grow under his brush, the tropic dawn with all things dropping dew, the darkness and the wonder and the hush, the insensate gray before the marvel grew. Then the veil lifted from the trembling blue. The walls of sky burst in, the flower, the rose, all the expanse of heaven, a mind that glows. He turned out of his bunk, the cook still tossed. Out one of the other two spoke in his sleep. A cockroach scuffled where the moonbeam crossed. Outside there was the ship, the night, the deep. It is worthwhile, the youth said. I will keep. I will keep to my resolve. I'll learn to paint all this. My Lord, my God, how beautiful it is. Outside was the ship's rush to the wind's hurry, a resonant wire hum from every rope, the broadening bow wash in a fiery flurry, the leaning masts in their majestic slope, and all things strange with moonlight filled with hope. By all that beauty going as man bade, he turned and slept in peace. 8 bells were made. 2. Part 2. Next day was Sunday, his free painting day. While the fine weather held from 8 till 8, he rose when called at 5 and did array the roundhouse gear and set the kit bags straight. Then kneeling down with hat like housemaid at a grate, he scrubbed the deck with sand until his knees were blue with dye from his wet dungarees. Soon all was clean, his Sunday tasks were done. His day was clear, for painting as he chose. The wetted decks were drying in the sun. The men coiled up, or swabbed, or sought repose. The drifts of silver arrows fell and rose. As flying fish took wing, the breakfast passed, wasting good time, but he was free at last. Free for 2 hours, and more to tingle deep, catching a likeness in the line or tint, the canvas running up in a proud sweep, wind wrinkled as the clues in white like lint, the glittering of the blue waves into glint, free to attempt it all, the proud ship's pawings, the sea, the sky he went to fetch his drawings. Up to the deck house top he quickly climbed, he stooped to find them underneath the boat. He found them all obliterated, slimed, blotted, erased, gone from him line and note. They were all spoiled, a lump came in his throat. Being vain of his attempts and tender skinned, beneath the skylight watching, reefers grinned. He clambered down, holding the ruined things. Bossoon, he called. Look here, did you do these? Wipe off my paints and cut them into strings and smear them until you can tell chalk from cheese. Don't stare, but did you do it? Answer, please. The bossoon turned. I'll give you a thick ear. Do it. I didn't. Go to hell from here. I touch your stinking daubs, the daubers daft. A crowd was gathering. Now to hear the fun. The reefers tumbled out. The men laid off. The men laid off. The cook blinked, cleaning a mess in the sun. What's up with the dauber now? Said everyone. Someone has spoiled my drawings. Look at this. Well, that's a dirty trick, by God it is. It is, said Sam, a low-down dirty trick, to spoil a fellow's work in such a way. And if you catch him, Dauber, punch him sick, for he deserves it, but be he who he may. A seaman shook his old head, wise and gray. It seems to me, he said, who ain't no judge. Them drawings look much better now they're smudge. Clever. It's like me butchering this poetry. It's much better when I say it. Where were they, Dauber? On the deck house? Where? Under the long boat in the secret place. The black guard must have seen you put them there. He is a swine, I tell him to his face. I didn't think he did anyone so base. Nor I, said Dauber. There was 6 weeks' time just wasted in these drawings. It's a crime. Well, don't you say we did it, growled his mates. And as for the crime, be damned, the things were smears, best overboard. Look, like you, was shot for weights. Thank God they're gone. Now go shake your ears. The Dauber listened, very near to tears. Dauber, if I were you, said Sam again, I'd aft and see the captain and complain. A sigh came from the assembled seamen there. Would he be such a fool for their delight as go to tell the captains? So would he dare? And would the thunder roar, the lightning smite? There was the captain come to take a sight. There was the captain there to come take. Handling his sextant by the chart house aft. Whoa. I didn't mean to show my tongue. I'm some other guy, by the way. Hi. The Daubers turned. The seaman thought him daft. Okay, I'm going to read that all again. A sigh came from the assembled seamen there. Would he be such a fool for their delight as to go tell the captain would he dare? And would the thunder roar, the lightning smite? There was the captain come to take a sight. Handling with his sextant by the chart house aft, the Dauber turned. The seaman thought him daft. Doft. Doft or daft? I like daft. The captain took his sights a mate. Below noted the times they shouted to each other. The captain quick with stop, the answer slow, repeating slowly one height, but then another. The swooping clipper stumbled through the smother. Oh. You know, it's like this ever since I first played pool, you know? Billiards, the sticks and the balls and the green felt. I would get so excited at the idea of just being able to hit the ball. I miss it. And usually I hit the green felt. And it's like this when I read this stuff. I get so excited to read the words. I add an extra O to smooth. And it's supposed to be smother. But I have to read it. I'm bringing public domain poetry to the video world. It is my mission. This poetry is not taught in schools. It's a shame. It is a darn shame because it's inspirational. Even when you don't realize this poetry is inspirational, it's inspirational. It really is. It truly, truly is. You don't know what it is, but it is. I started reading this last fall. Next thing I knew, I was writing poetry myself. I didn't even mean to do it. It was an accident. I was just writing a poem for my father, put it in his birthday card. It has something to do with, the bathroom door and being open, and I come and visit, and the house has its own aura of odor. Anyway, it was a very interesting poem, and he enjoyed it, and I enjoyed writing it. But I would not have written it if I wasn't reading public domain poetry first. So this stuff has value. And I'm reading this mostly so I can become a poet. There, I said it. Poetry needs to come back. There needs to be poetry again. There's true value in it. Like hardware. Now, where was I? No, I said smoother by accident, but I meant to say smother. Smother. Since I have a cup of coffee here. Oh, I lost my line here. Okay, smother. Smother, everybody, smother. Like, putting a candle out. Smoother is like I guess, like a... Smoother is an adjective. Smother is a verb. Where the heck was I? I'll think of it. Let me see. I'll just start from here. It is, said Sam, a low-down dirty trick. We're going back to where he lost his drawings. They all got smeared, and the captain's going to hear about it, and it's not going to come to very much. Dauber is a painter. Very vain man. We're all artists. Come on. So vain. Give your egos a chance, will you? It is, said Sam, a low-down dirty trick to spoil a fellow's work in such a way, and if you catch him, Dauber, punch him sick, for he deserves it, but he may who he may. A seaman shook his head, wise and gray. It seems to me, he said, you ain't no judge. Them drawings look much better now they're smudged. Where were you, Dauber? On the deck house? Where? Under the long boat? In the secret place? The black... Where were they? Yes. The blackguard must have seen them. Put them there. He is a swine, I tell him to his face. I didn't think he weighed anyone so base. Nor I, said Dauber. There were 6 weeks' time. You just wasted in those drawings. It's a crime. 6 weeks. Oh, that's misery. Well, don't you say we did it, growled his mates. And as for crime, to be damned, the things were smears, best overboard like you, with shots of police. Thank God they're gone. And now go shake your heads. Your ears, the Dauber listened, very near to tears. Dauber, if I were you, said Sam again, I'd have to see the captain and complain. And sigh came from the assembled seamen there. Would he be such a fool for their delight? As go tell the captain, would he dare? And would the thunder roar, the lightning smite? There was the captain come to take a sight, handling his sextant by the chart house aft. The Dauber turned the seaman through. Thought him daft. The captain took his sights and mate below. Noted the times they shouted to each below. The captain quick with stop, the answer slow, repeating them slowly, one height, then another. The swooping, clipper stumbled through the smoother. Mother! It's a noun! It's not even a verb or an adjective. I can't stand myself. The latter brasses in the sunlight burned. The Dauber waited till the captain turned. There stood the Dauber, humbled to the bone. Waiting to speak, the captain let him wait. Glanced at the course, and called in even tone. What is the man there wanting, Mr. Mate? The long ship clattered up the grating straight. The reel rolled to the scuppers with the clatter. The mate came grim. Well, Dauber, what's the matter? Please, sir, they spoiled my drawings. Who did? They. Who are they? Who's they? I just said that. Who's they? I don't quite know, sir. Don't quite know, sir? Then why are you aft to talk about it, eh? Whom do you complain of? No one. No one? No, sir. Well, then go forward till you found them. Go, sir. If you complain of someone, then I'll see. Now go get to hell and don't come bother me. Oh boy, they were brusque. They were so brusque back then. Brusque. Probably drunk. Definitely drunk. But, sir, they washed them off, and some they cut. Look here, sir. How they spoiled them. Never mind. Go shove your head inside the scuttlebutt. Ooh, that sounds rough. Go shove your head inside the scuttlebutt. Oh, they were brusque. I love that word. I'm going to say that 4 more times before the day is over. Ooh. You will find, especially reading this. This is some pretty hefty stuff. Nothing like water when you're You will find nothing like water when you're bad and blind. Oh, my nose is itchy from the poetry. Where were the drawings in your chest or where? Under the long boat, sir. I put them there. Under the long boat, eh? Now mind your tip. I'll have the skid kept clear with nothing round them. The long boat ain't no store in this here ship. Lucky for you it wasn't I who found them. If I had seen them, Dauber, I'd have drowned them. Now you be warned by this, I tell you plain. Don't stow your brass rags under boats again. Go forward to your berth. The Dauber turned. The listeners down below then winked and smiled, knowing how red the Dauber's temples burned. Having lost the case about his only child, the poet, the paintings, the drawings. That's my own dialect. His work was done to nothing and defiled, and there was no redress. The captain's voice spoke and called, Painter, making him rejoice. The captain and the mate conversed together. Drawings, you tell me, mister? Yes, sir. Views. Wiped off with turps. I gather that's his blether. He says there's things. Yes, he can't afford to lose. He's Dick. He came to see in dancing shoes, and found the dance a bear dance. They were hidden under the longboat's chooks, which I've forbidden. Wiped off with turps, the captain sucked his lip. Who did it, mister? Reefers, I suppose. Then devils do the most pranks in a ship. The roundhouse might have done it, cook or Bose. Oh, it's a mystery story now. Who ruined the drawings? I can't take notice of it till he knows. How does he do his work? Well, no offense, he tries. He does his best. He's got no sense. Who does? Painter, the captain called. The Dauber came. What's all the talk of raw drawings? What's the matter? They spoiled my drawings, sir. Well, who's to blame? The longboat's there for no one to get at her. They broke the rules, and if you choose to scatter gear up and down where it's not right to be and suffer as a result, don't come to me. I'm moving right along with this. I gotta check the clock. I am my own producer. I am my own grandpa. Oh, I'm running out of time. I'm only on page 9. I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts. Oh, well. I'm going to read until I pass out. No, I'm going to read until it's 3. Page 10, 3. Then I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts. Because I only got so much memory on my phone there, and let's face it, I am not the tech master of the world, and I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just getting this poetry into the blogosphere. I can't believe I use words like that. I don't even know what kind of world I live in. I don't think there's any pastels there, just me and Bill, and old cat when he's around eating Iams cat food. Iams cat food. The old cat version. Highly recommended stuff. Your place is in the roundhouse, and your gear belongs where you belong. You spoiled your things. Find out who spoiled your things and fetch him here. But, sir, They cut the canvas into strings. I want no argument, no questionings. Go back where you belong and say no more. And please remember that you're not on shore. The Dauber touched his brow and slunk away. He eyed his going with a bitter eye. Dauber, said Sam. Where did the captain say? The Dauber dropped his head without reply. Go forward, Dauber. Enjoy your cry. The mate limped to the rail. Oh, people are vicious. So brusque. Like little feet over his head. The drumming reef points beat. The Dauber reached the berth and entered in. Much mockery followed after as he went. Honestly, I'm stumbling because I want to get the word brusque in it again. And I just have to say it one more time and then I'm done saying it for the day. And if I had any knowledge of like video editing or superimpositions, I would put the word on the thing there. So everybody can see the word brusque. And there, I just said it for the last time, and I don't have to say it for the next 5 years. 10 if I'm lucky. But this poem, everybody's brusque. Damn, I have to say it again. Everybody's, mean. Well, mean is such a lousy word. Where's my thesaurus? Bill? No, you don't know. 1, 2. The Dauber touched his brow and slunk away. They eyed his going with a bitter eye. Dauber, said Sam. What did the captain say? Dauber drooped his head without reply. Go forward, Dauber, enjoy your cry. The mate slipped to the rail like little feet. Over his head, the drumming reef points beat. The Dauber reached the berth and entered in. Much mockery followed after he went, and each face seemed to greet him with the grin of hounds hot. Hot like rot. Hot. Hot. Following on a creature spent. Aren't you a fool? Each mocking visage meant. Who did it, Dauber? Who did it, Captain say? It is a crime. There'll be hell to pay. He bowed his head. The house was full of smoke. The sails was pointing shakes of his chest. Lord Dauber, be a man. Take a joke. He puffed his pipe and let the matter rest. Spit brown, my son, and get a hairy breast. Get shoulders on you at the allergic braces, and let the painting business go to blazes. What good can paintings do to anyone? I don't say never do it. Far from that. No harm in sometimes painting just for fun. Keep it for fun and stick to what you're at. Your job's to fill your bones up and get fat. Isn't that everybody's? I mean, look how portly I am. I'm huge. I just contradicted myself. Whatever. Rib up your Barney's bull and thick your neck. Throw paints to hell, boy. You belong on deck. That's right, said Chips. It's downright good advice. Painting's no good. What good can painting do? Up on a lower topsail, stiff with ice, with all your little fish hooks frozen blue. Painting won't help you at the weather clue. They're absolutely right. Painting will not help you become a good fisher, and fishing is how you got to eat if you're out on a freaking ship. And part of my French, I said freaking. I don't curse if I can help it. I mean, spiritually, I am cursing up a storm. You have no idea the kind of profanities that are just welling up inside me spiritually. As I said, I have an old soul. And old souls are cantankerous. Sometimes they're brusque. I feel like my paintings just got smeared. Your job's to fill your bones up and get fat. Rib up like Barney's bull and thick your neck. Throw paints to hell, boy. I agree. You belong on deck. That's right, said Chips. It's downright good advice. Painting's no good. What good can painting do? Up on a lower topsail, stiff with ice, with all your little fish hooks frozen blue. Painting won't help you at the weather clue, or pass your gaskets for you, or make sail. Painting's a balmy job, not worth a nail. The Dauber did not answer. Time was passing. He pulled his easel out, his paintings, his stool, the wind was dropping, and the sea was glassy. Now realms of beauty waited for his rule. The draught out of the Krogic kept him cool. Don't ask me what draught means. I don't know. He sat to paint, alone and melancholy. No turning fools, the chips said, from their folly. He dipped his brush and tried to fix a line, and then came peace and gentle beauty came, turning his spirit's water into wine. Lightning in his darkness with a touch of flame. Oh, joy of trying for beauty, ever the same. You never fail your comforts, never end. Oh, balm of this world's way, oh, perfect friend. Now there's somebody who loves his painting. And with that, that's part one, because I don't think my technology is going to hold out for me to keep reading. Sorry. That phone does not have much memory. This thing doesn't have much battery power. And I guess I'm alright. I guess I can do this. I don't know. Anyway, I drink black coffee out of a glass. It's tepid, not hot, so it doesn't break anything. I keep it traditional. No sugar, no cream. They say it's a good source of antioxidants, like green tea, but with a little caffeine jolt, which I do need. And what else? This is my lavalier mic. I just put on a stand for fun. Gives me something to hold on to, like youth. And what else? This is my windows, and this is me, and this is Bill. This is Bill over here, W.C. Fields. I have other figures here. I used to have Bogart. I don't know what happened to Bogart. Bogart's around. He's made of plaster. He doesn't get around very well. Bill doesn't either, but Bill just doesn't travel well. That's why I couldn't take him to the beach. I don't think he'd appreciate it. And I wouldn't appreciate him being there. He's a cantankerous old bastard. Very brusque. I said it again, didn't I? One of these days, I'm just not going to say that word. And then I'll know where things are really falling apart. It's going to happen. I'm not going to say the word brusque anymore. And then that ocean I saw, it's going to start boiling. And then it's going to cool. And then it's going to be like Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle. A particle of whatever is going to end up in the water, and it's going to become a giant ice block. The whole ocean, all of them, will be frozen over forever. That's all I remember from Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle. Good book. I'm glad I remembered that much. I don't remember anything from Dead-Eye Dick. Nothing. One book I read, God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater by Kurt Vonnegut. Nothing. It's like I never read the book. I can't remember any of it. It's a big, giant mystery to me. I'm not even sure I read it. Where the heck was I? I don't drink. But how could I have a blackout with a book I read? It can't be that forgettable. I guess my mind was so subdivided that I couldn't quite get the gears rolling in the right direction, you know? I might have been just sitting around thinking about cheese the whole time. Maybe that book was all about making cheese. I don't know. I thought it was about a firefighter, a portly firefighter. Because I knew a portly firefighter, big guy. Very likable guy. Very, with problems. He had problems. Alcoholic. New Jersey Devils fan. That's a different kind of problem, if you can call it that. Nice guy. Very, very, very sardonic sense of humor. And sardonic, in case people don't know, sardonic is like it's like a morbid kind of sarcasm. He had a sardonic sense of humor. Poor guy passed away from he drank himself to an early grave. I never understood why. I didn't see him for like the last 7 or 8 years of his life. Anyway, that's what made me think of Mr. God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater by Kurt Vonnegut. And I guess I was just thinking about him. He was, I guess, still alive back then when I read that. But I hadn't seen him in years. Strange how the people in their past sort of just are in your past. Anyway, I don't even know if I'm in frame. I'm going to be done now. Part 2 is later.